of us, not any one of us. So I think you'll find that that's a little bit different than some of the other companies that you may have experienced or may have participated in the past or may have worked for in corporate America. Visalus, we don't believe in that corporate America stuff. I started out as an entrepreneur with absolutely nothing to lose. I dropped out of high school my freshman year. When I was 13 years old, my mother, unfortunately, was a drunk. My father was a drug addict. I never saw him again after I was 13 years old. My sister went to prison for drug dealing. My other brother went to prison for armed robbery. My other brother went to prison for armed robbery. Any of you seen the TV show Shameless on Showtime? Raise your hand if you've seen it. We made that family look like the Brady Bunch. So, when I was 13 years old, I went to what's called a continuation high school. I think they call them alternative. They call them, you guys have alternative schools here? Come on, you show your hands here. You guys have them? In Los Angeles, that's where they teach really bad kids how to become even badder kids. Now you imagine taking all the worst kids from all the high schools and put them together. Now that's teaching. And so I never even read a book. I suffered from dyslexia. I still suffer from dyslexia. I have attention deficit disorder. As you can tell by the way I'm giving this speech here today. I got held back in the second grade. I was in the continuation high school by the time I was 14 years old. And, and I never had a dream that I'd be able to do anything in life. I didn't believe I'd ever go to college. I didn't believe I'd ever live the life that I live today by any means whatsoever. So I share that with you because I know some of you, it's hard for you to really dream about an existence different than the one that you have today. And I know what it's like. I remember day in and day out having to fight off beliefs that I wasn't enough. I couldn't read, and they would call my name and say, stand up. That'd be the most nervous day of my life. Any of you guys, if I asked you to stand up and start reading right now, that'd be like the worst day of your life. Any of you see some folks on stage and you say to yourself, I could never be on stage and deliver a speech like that, right? Any of you guys have that self-doubt? I know I have a lot of it, and I still have self-doubt. Well, what happens is, all of a sudden a mentor shows up in your life, as did mine. And you start learning. And you start learning to overcome those self-doubts. You start learning to overcome those limiting beliefs. You start learning to believe in yourself. And the way that happens is not only do you have a great teacher, like the ones that we've trained and educated here at Visalus to come here and teach you today, but you also become a great student. And you start, I see many of you taking notes right now. You become voracious in your appetite toward learning, toward understanding the way the world works. And then eventually, pretty soon, you start to figure some things out. You start to make some iterative improvements as an entrepreneur, and you make a little bit of money, and you're able to learn how to overcome certain obstacles, whether they be self-imposed. Maybe you have to learn how to have more ambition in your life, or learn how to manage your time better, so that way you can have the right amount of time with your family, and the right amount of time focused on your work, and the right amount of time focused on your job, and the right amount of time focused on your friends, right? Maybe you start to really learn and master the art of time management. Now you've got some beliefs behind you, and you're being more efficient in your time, and then pretty soon, next thing you know, you're a rising star in our business. Then pretty soon you're teaching others how to do the same. Then pretty soon you're in a brand new BMW. Then pretty soon you're teaching others how to do the same. And then pretty soon you're making a full-time income, and you're firing your boss. And pretty soon you're teaching others how to do the same. And then pretty soon, everything in your life is about teaching people how to do what you've done. Which is, by the way, what true leadership is all about. I don't know if any of you guys are paying attention to all the rhetoric and politics and people talking about the problems. Who's going to start talking about the solutions? Right? And for some reason, we've created this society where we just let people off the hook. Right? Oh, well, it's the system. It's the unemployment. Right? It's the this, it's the that. we can't let ourselves off the hook. We got to take control of our own lives, look in the mirror every day, and say, I'm not going to listen to the naysayers. I'm not going to listen to all the rhetoric on TV about people telling me how bad it is. I'm going to make it good because I'm going to take action in my life. And the way you take that action is how? You get yourself educated. Here's the thing. Being an entrepreneur is not taught. It's only learned. There's no way you'll learn how to become a multi-billionaire by, reading books and through osmosis. You've got to get out there and you've got to go to work. You've got to learn theory and you also got to practice it. And I'm not here today to tell you, some of you are going to be just happy, getting your product for free, and that's exceptional. You're going to be happy to save money in the grocery store line. Maybe you came here today because you want to learn more about the products that you're taking and the health that you're taking on behalf of your family. And for that, I commend you. Because the truth is, a simple challenge. You challenge it yourself. And I know, I got family in Bremen, Oklahoma on 50 medication. Well, I guess they're here. They're there. By the way, there's only like 4 people in Bremen, Oklahoma. There's 2 of them back there. But I got family there. I know what it's like to have poor health decisions impacting the family. And some of those poor health decisions are a result of a lack of education. It's just recently that people became aware of, the consequences of some poor health decisions. And so when a person says, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself, and they publicly declare they're going to lose a couple pounds or get more active or get their family on a challenge together, you guys are my heroes. Because through that is true mentorship, and being a role model and being a leader is challenging your family to be a better family and be better individuals. So no matter where you want to take this, you guys are doing this just by being here today. And imagine if every family in America quit talking about all the problems and said, you know what, we're going to take on the problems of our family. And as opposed to looking for a helping hand, they looked to the one on the end of their wrist. And they started taking action. What do you think would happen if every family in America got together and put together a family plan for their health? And put together a family plan for their finances. And said, we are going to work as a family together to get ourselves out of the poor health that we have and to improve our health and our finances so that way we can have more security, we can have more fun, and not have to worry about whether or not our job is going to get eliminated or what the unemployment ratio is because all the bankers and the this and that are controlling my family. Imagine that. Imagine that. I'm here to tell you today, it is a possibility. I see it all the time. Stories like the Wards, the leaders in the room here, taking charge of their families, getting their families out of debt, getting their families' health in its best possible shape they can. And then they see it happen to other families around them. And then pretty soon it starts to spread like wildfire, and they're able to get on the stage and live that life that that they're talking about. And I got to tell you, all they are, when you watch them walk that stage, when you hear about money or cars or all that stuff, all that is a product of the amount of change that they have created in the families that are part of their organizations. Just like the change they've created in their family. And that change is gone. That change occurs through a real simple format. Change occurs through education. These guys are the best teachers in the world, and that's why they're making such an exceptional living and living an exceptional life. Any teachers in the room here? A few teachers. My hat's off to you. Congratulations. And, I got to tell you, I fashioned myself and this entire entrepreneurial system that we've created as simply teaching. Except for there's a little difference in our compensation system for teachers than there is in the public compensation system. Here's the difference. Ready? I'm an idealist. We compensate our teachers based on the productivity of their students. I get some of the test scores based on the productivity. How? How? Well, If one of our teachers teaches a family about a little thing called the line by line 90-day challenge, and that family is able to get a result, well, that teacher is able to earn a nice commission as a result of that, right? And if they start teaching other families, and other families start getting results, that teacher starts earning more income. If they continue to teach other people how to teach, that teacher earns more income. Now imagine if we compensated our teachers, just say 1% or 2% of what their students would earn in productivity. Like, a teacher is able to make 1% off of what Bill Gates made, or 1% off of what Warren Buffett made, right? How many people would be driven to the field of teaching if they knew that the sky was the limit? All they had to do was identify the talented individuals, help them challenge themselves, become better people, become better families, and go out there and do the best they possibly can. How many people, by show of hands, would be a teacher if you're compensated for doing that? Every single one of you that is here today, that is here to learn about our opportunity, that's what you ultimately become as a teacher. And you measure the success, the score, so to speak, in terms of financial terms, right? And the more money you have, guess what? The more money you can give one day. So I'll share with you a personal thing about me, because I believe it's important for you to know, the roots of the company and kind of where